फ्रेम नहीं आसू मैं हाय कर ये लेफ्ट
So this is not the only lab class, this is related to your theory also, right? And this class I am sure this will help you during steel making process and iron making process also. I think iron making subject is there in this semester or? Fifth sem, okay. Steel making maybe in sixth, okay anyways. So this, and this will also help you if you join a metallurgical industry. So this is lab 1 and we'll be talking about concept of calcination and its significance in extractive metallurgy. So we know extractive metallurgy means we are doing metal extraction, right? So here I am writing, here you can see iron making and steel making. So iron making means we are extracting iron. So how calcination will help us during iron making we'll discuss here in this class. Fine. And also steel making means steel is a pure form of iron, you can say. It's a pure form of iron, steel. But it contains alloying element. But impurities content will be very less. But we add alloying element. Alloying element is added why? To improve the properties of the iron itself, right? But impurities are detrimental. That is disadvantage for your properties. So iron making, we produce iron, then we go to steel making so that we can remove the impurities present in the iron. And we produce a steel. Then we add alloying element into that. Basically, we use steel in day-to-day life, right? Not iron directly. Fine? We use steel mostly. We don't use iron mostly. So, but iron which we are using is cast iron. If you see, mostly we are using cast iron because of some property. Anyway, but mostly we are using steels. What kind of steel we are using mostly? Mild steel. Mostly mild steel and other alloy steels also. All utensils are mostly stainless steels. Alloy steels, right? Anyway, so what is calcination? So calcination, okay, can you tell me what is calcination from textbooks of school? Like during your school days, what you have learned? Reduction. Calcination is not a reduction process. You heard this term, calcination at least? Sorry, no, what is the definition I'm asking? I mean, what exactly we do? What exactly we do? Heating. Okay, what? Right, heating. Calcination means it is a thermal decomposition process. Thermal decomposition process means we are decomposing something into its constituent by providing thermal energy, by providing heat. So calcination also called a pyrometallurgical process. Pyrometallurgical process means pyro means heat, metallurgy means extraction. So by help of heat we are extracting something. So that's why it is called pyrometallurgy, right? And calcination comes under this pyrometallurgical process. And calcination exactly means thermal decomposition of ore, or we can say concentrate, not ore exactly. Because after mineral processing we get concentrate, no? We cannot say it's an ore, it's a concentrate basically. So thermal decomposition of concentrate is called calcination. Let me give an example, then only you can understand what is that. For example, I am giving an example here. CaCO3. What is this? Calcium carbonate, right? Or limestone. Fine. This is limestone, calcium carbonate. Now I will provide heat energy. I will take the calcium carbonate to a high temperature. Fine. Everybody know furnace at least? Right? Furnace will give you temperature, high temperature. You can go to a high temperature by using a furnace, right? Coils are there, so you can rise the temperature. Okay. So I will heat it. So what will it become? Finally, CO plus CO2. This is the gas phase. This is your solid, and this is your solid. Fine. This is the simplest example. If somebody will ask what is calcination, if you remember this reaction only, you can simply tell them this is the reaction and what is going on, you understand, right? Initially it was a big compound, but it got broken down into two components, lime and carbon dioxide. And carbon dioxide is a gaseous phase, it will evolve out. It will go away simply, right? And carbon dioxide is a volatile matter here also. You have to remember, carbon dioxide is volatile matter. Volatile matter means which become gas and removed from the container or from the furnace. Fine. So calcination simply means it is a thermal decomposition process, and also you can say additional thing, removal of volatile matter. By looking at this reaction, you can define it. Fine. Because we are decomposing CaCO3 into CaO and CO2, and CO2 is getting out of the reactor. Very simple definition and simple example. Is it okay? Another example I can give you is magnesium carbonate. And you write the reaction quickly, iron carbonate. Another example, all are solid, all are solid. So it will become what? MgO plus CO2. This will become Fe. These are not balanced actually, but you can balance it if you want. MnO plus CO. Not balanced reaction, you can balance it. Anyway, so this is the thing. These are all gases phase. And these are all solids. I'm writing C, it's fine, but some people write like C for solid, or S you can write, no problem. C or S, same thing. Can you tell me, by looking at this reaction, is it a solid state process or a liquid state process? Solid state process, because reactant is in solid and product is also in solid. So that means in the calcination process, you should not heat the ore or concentrate to so much high temperature so that it will become molten. It should be done below the melting point of the compound. Fine. So that means the temperature should be below the melting point of lime, temperature should be below the melting point of MgO, FeO and MnO, right? So calcination is a pyrometallurgical process where we do thermal decomposition and removal of volatile matter, and this is a solid state process, not liquid. We are not going into the liquid state. And let me clarify one another important point. These are different compounds. So do you think that each compound has same calcination temperature? Is it? No. Because bonding will be different. Bonding between the carbonate and that particular metal will be different. So if bonding will be different, bond strength will be different. Obviously the temperature requirement will be different. So each compound have different calcination temperature. That is related to your second lecture number 2, or lab number 2. We will discuss that later. So I can write here calcination temperature of MnCO3 is nearly 370, and for this one, this is basically 400, and for this it is basically 477, and for this it is 860 nearly. Clear? So different carbonates have different calcination temperature. So can you tell me now, suppose I have dolomite. Dolomite formula is MgCO3 dot CaCO3. Both carbonates are present. If I will heat the dolomite at, for example, around 500 degrees centigrade, so what will happen? From the last bench, can you tell me? Any of you? What is the formula of dolomite I told? Fe2O3, dolomite. Can you tell me CaCO3 only? Then what is limestone and what is the difference between limestone and dolomite? Or dot means what? dot. Okay, sit down. That is chemically combined. Both are both are together. Right? Chemically bonded. Dot means chemically bonded. Like I write Al2O3 dot XH2O. That means this water molecule is chemically bonded with that Al2O3. If plus will be there, that means it is an extra thing, not chemically bonded. Anyways, so if I will heat the dolomite now to a temperature of 500 degrees centigrade, what will happen? Yeah, can you tell me? Yeah. You. I will heat the dolomite at temperature of 500 degrees centigrade, and I will give sufficient time also. So what will happen? Check the temperature is also there. Calcination temperature is there. Yeah, from the last. Can you tell me your name is Om, right? Yeah. Can you No. Why you are laughing? Let me speak. Sorry. It will break. Okay. It will decompose. But what will be the product? I am asking. Check the temperature. Temperature is already written 850 and 477. Okay, can you tell me? You people understood my question? Yes. You have dolomite, which is a mixture of calcium carbonate and magnesium carbonate. I am taking the dolomite to a temperature of 500 degrees centigrade. I am giving sufficient time now. So what will happen? Calcination will happen, obviously. But calcination of what? Magnesium carbonate. Because calcination temperature of magnesium carbonate only 477. But I am taking the ore to 500. So magnesium carbonate will decompose. But what happened to the calcium carbonate? It will remain as calcium carbonate only. Because we are not reaching to 850. Right? That process is called differential calcination. Differential. In the next class, we'll discuss in details. Okay, sit down. It is clear now? That's why I wrote different temperatures. Okay, so then we'll move to significance. So moving into significance, let me tell you somewhat about iron making and somewhat about steel making. Then only you can correlate. Otherwise, it will be difficult for you. Iron making. So in the iron making, we basically have a furnace called blast furnace. This kind of structure. This is called blast furnace, where we put what? What are the raw materials we need to put? Hematite mostly. Hematite is the ore of iron. So I am writing simply Fe2O3. Fine. And we need to put what are other things? We need to put carbon. Carbon because we want to remove the oxygen. So we need to put carbon. So I am putting coke, which is carbon. And I am putting one additional thing. Today we have discussed flux. Very good, flux. So I need to put flux. Fine. And mostly it contains what? SiO2 and Al2O3. These are what? These are gangs in the iron ore, hematite. Up to this thing is clear? Fine. Now, there is a very interesting point here. You can see the gang is SiO2 and Al2O3. Silica and alumina. Alumina is an amphoteric oxide, you have to remember. Alumina is neither acidic nor basic. Alumina is amphoteric. Amphoteric means it will behave as an acidic when matrix will be, or when majority substance will be acidic, it will behave as basic. But it will behave as basic when majority substance will be acidic. So its behavior changes. It is not fixed. But silica is always acidic. Fine. Basically, all metal oxides are basic in nature. Like lime, CaO is basic. FeO will be basic metal oxide. Like Na2O, basic metal oxide. No, these are all metal oxides. All metal oxides are basic in nature. Right? And non-metal oxides are basically acidic. Like P2O5. P2O5 is what? Phosphorus is there, no? So basically it is acidic. P2O5 is acidic. Silica, basically acidic. But alumina is amphoteric, you have to remember. Alumina is amphoteric. It will behave as acidic when slag will be basic. So it varies its property depending on the situation. Anyways, so there is no issue with alumina. Alumina will remove whatever you choose, any kind of flux you choose, it will remove. Right? On the basis of flux, suppose you are adding basic flux, it will behave as acidic. You are adding acidic flux, it will behave as basic. So there is no need to worry about the alumina. But the point is, we need to worry about silica. We need to remove the silica now. So what kind of flux we choose? Lime, I told. It is acidic oxide, we need to choose basic oxide, lime. Right? We need to choose flux as lime. But lime never obtained in the nature. Lime obtained in form of calcium carbonate or maybe dolomite. Either limestone is obtained from the nature or dolomite. Limestone means CaCO3. Or dolomite you already told, right? So those are obtained in the nature. So that means, now a question from my side, if I need lime, then I need to feed limestone or dolomite, any of this. I need to feed limestone into the furnace as a flux. So what will be the problem? No, limestone is CaCO3 only. It will decompose obviously because this is a furnace. It will provide you high temperature. So calcination will happen inside the furnace itself, right? How I am correlating? Listen carefully. You are feeding flux in form of calcium carbonate. So calcium carbonate will go to high temperature. It will decompose into CaO and CO2. CO2 will remove. CaO will be there. That will act as a flux. Okay? Up to this it is clear now. Fine. But what is the problem here? Energy waste. Very good. Actually, calcination is a thermal decomposition process and it is endothermic in nature. Highly endothermic in nature. So it will absorb the energy of the furnace. But we need energy for what? We need energy for reduction. We need energy for combustion. We need energy for melting. Right? Because at the end of the day we need molten iron and molten slag. Two things will form. You have to remember. These are the two products. Molten iron and molten slag. Right? So you want to keep everything in molten state. So you need heat energy. But this calcination will consume the energy. This calcination process will consume your energy. Fine. Because it is an endothermic process. Calcination is an endothermic process. You have to remember. Is it clear up to this? So that means instead of limestone we need to feed lime. So that it should not consume your energy. Is it okay? But your question will be, obviously, if we do calcination outside also, it will consume energy also. Of course, some energy, some money we need to spend for that also, right? But the important priority is, in this furnace, we want reduction, we want melting. And we need heat energy for that, for reduction, for melting. We don't want to spend energy for calcination here. Is it okay? So that's why calcination is also called preliminary treatment of ore or preliminary treatment of concentrate. Preliminary means prior. Prior to a metal extraction, you need to do that. It's called preliminary treatment of the concentrate or ore. That means prior to metal extraction, you should do the calcination process, so that you will get a oxide, not carbonate. Is it clear up to this? Fine. But my question was that if you do outside also, you need to spend some money for that, because it is also a same endothermic process will happen and some energy will consume there also. So what is the solution? Okay, let me give another hint. Actually, when we do mineral processing, at the end of mineral processing, we always get powder form of minerals. But we cannot feed powder form of minerals into the furnace. We never feed. We feed big size. Again, a particular size is required. For example, in blast furnace, we feed nearly 30 to 40 mm size of ore or concentrate. Fine. Hematite concentrate size will be of 30 to 40 mm. But if you do mineral processing, the particle size becomes less than 100 micrometer. We cannot feed those fine particles. I am not going into details, but I am saying that this is one of the concepts. So what can be done? Can you tell me? That means after mineral processing, you are getting very fine powder. You need to make it again lump of that particular size, 30 mm to 40 mm. And that can be done by again providing heat. That is called agglomeration process. Agglomeration means converting fine into lumps again. Is it clear? Anyhow, you are doing mineral processing, your particles will be of micrometer size, very fine. Because you understood why. Because we need liberation, more unlocking. Today we have discussed more unlocking. We need to separate more amount of gang, right? We need to do more release. Is it fine up to this? So that means what I told, we cannot feed fine concentrate into the blast furnace. There is some issue. I am not going into details. We cannot feed fines, so we have to feed lumps, big size, at least 30 to 40 mm. To make it lump, we need heat energy, right? We need to again heat the fine particles so that it becomes lump particles. Then we can charge it into the furnace, right? So during that process, you can add this limestone into the process. So what will happen? This iron hematite fine particles concentrate will become lump by providing high temperature like 1000 degree or 1100 degree. With that heat also your calcination will happen also. This is mandatory that we cannot feed fines into the furnace. So anyhow we need to do agglomeration. You cannot, you understand my point, we have to do agglomeration. You cannot put fines into the furnace. Anyhow you have to feed lumps. And to feed lumps you need lump particles. How it can be done? By heating the fine particles, it will become lump automatically. It will become bonding, there will be bonding between the particles and become lumps. So you are spending energy in that, heat energy. So why cannot we also feed limestone into the process? So what will happen? The heat energy will be available for calcination also there, right? So during that agglomeration process, what will happen? Fine become lumps as well as calcination will also occur. CaCO2 will break down to lime. So finally you will be having a concentrate rich in lime. That is, what is other advantage? Can you tell me? Other advantage is separately we are not feeding any lime. We are feeding a ore or concentrate which is having lime itself. Is it clear or shall I repeat? Again I am saying we cannot, after mineral processing, we will get a concentrate which is rich in iron, Fe2O3, right? And we cannot charge fine Fe2O3 into the iron blast furnace. We need to make it lump, big size, 30 to 40 mm for example. And that need temperature, certain temperature, like 1000 degree or 1100 or 1200 like that. And calcination temperature is only 850, if you remember, limestone calcination temperature, right? So you can do two things simultaneously. You mix this limestone with the fine iron ore and you heat it. So fine iron ore become lump and calcination also happen during that process. So you will end up with what? You will end up with a concentrate of hematite having lime in it, not limestone. Now you can charge it easily. So there will be no issue. So function of flux will help in formation of slag to remove the gangue particles. And iron ore is in form of lumps that will become Fe at the end. Fe2O3 become Fe. Is it okay? Any confusion after this? So that is the significance of calcination here. Is it okay? Now similarly I will talk about, that is okay fine, let me give one problem. Suppose this is the blast furnace. Here I am feeding CaCO3, here I am feeding Fe2O3 having CaO. This is I am feeding, here I am feeding CaCO3 and I am feeding Fe2O3 lumps. And this is also a lump. Lump is big size part. So what is the difference here now? What is the difference? Here energy consumption will be more. Your energy consumption will be more. Why? Because you are feeding CaCO3 directly. So CaCO3 will go and consume your heat energy. But we don't want that. We always want reduction should happen and melting should happen at the end. But still you want to run the furnace like this. So that means you need to put more amount of fuel. Right? Lot of fuel will be required. Like more, you need to feed more amount of coke actually. Coke is a reducing agent as well as coke is a what? Is a fuel also. It will burn. Now coke will also burn to give you heat energy and coke will also give you carbon for reduction. Is it okay? So function of coke here is dual here. It will provide you heat energy by combustion. Coke will burn and give you heat energy. Also coke will provide you carbon or carbon monoxide, both. Because Fe2O3 plus C gives rise to Fe plus CO2, for example. Fe2O3 plus CO also give you Fe plus CO2. Both carbon and carbon monoxide act as a reducing agent. Okay? Is it clear? So here energy requirement will be more because you have to do calcination anyhow to get a line. But here energy requirement will be less. Fine. Is it okay? So this is preferable. In industry they are preferring this one, the first one, not this one. Earlier they are doing this kind of thing. But they got to know that it is consuming lot of coke, and cost of coke is very high. Because coke is not naturally available, you know. What we got coal from the nature. We got coal from the nature, and we are converting coal into coke. So there also you are spending some energy, right, to making coke out of coal. Can you tell me, can we convert any kind of coal into coke? What are the different coals? Can you tell me at least? Lignite, peat, bituminous, anthracite. These are the 4 types of coal, no? Lignite, peat, bituminous, and anthracites. Have you ever visited to this Dhaba? This nearby the highway, Dhaba. So they are using coal there, right? What kind of coals they use? Peat mostly. Peat lignites. Maximum peat and lignite. They are low grade coals. The carbon concentration is very less in that. Carbon concentration is very less in that. But what are higher in concentration? Ash content, volatile matter content, and ash and volatile, and moisture. Lot of moisture, volatile, and ash content are there in peat and lignite. But if you go to anthracite, carbon concentration is very high in that. Bituminous also carbon concentration is high, right? So you have to remember this important point. We cannot convert any kind of coal into coke. There is a particular type of bituminous coal which can be converted into coke, and that can be used in the blast furnace iron making. You cannot convert anthracite also. Anthracite is having maximum carbon, still you cannot make coke out of it for blast furnace. I am not going into details, but otherwise we will be diverted from our topic. No? Anyways, so bituminous coal, there is a particular kind of bituminous coal. Australia is having lot of bituminous coal, so that's why we export metallurgical coal, that bituminous coal from the Australia. So you can imagine how much amount of money you are spending. Export charge will be there. Again you are converting that coal into coke, that you are spending energy. So that's why cost of coke is very high. And if you want to run the furnace like this, again you have to spend more energy. So you have to provide more coke, so that it will provide you more heat energy to do calcination. So better you choose this one, right? Is it? You understood the significance? You understood the significance, right? Similarly, you will move to the steel making one. Last. Okay, fine. Steel making, for example, this converter is like this. Any of you have visited internship right now for Tata Steel or something? JSW. You have visited at SMS, steel melting shop. SMS we have visited. What is this? This is LD converter, if you remember. Not ladle, this is LD converter. Anyway, we will discuss that. This is LD converter. So, we'll feed what? Not writing here right now. So after iron making is done, you will not get a pure form of iron. You have removed the gangue, that's fine. Gangue is removed. Iron oxide become iron in the molten state now, right? But still that iron contains some amount of impurities, and we need to remove those impurities by doing steel making. Again I am saying, after iron making is done, you get a molten iron. You have removed the gangue by in form of slag, right? By adding flux. Is it okay? So you have a molten iron, but that molten iron will also having some impurities in it, and you need to remove those impurities by steel making process. So that's why people call steel making process as refining, not extraction. But iron making is the extraction process. And the difference between iron and steel making is what? Iron making is a reduction process, but steel making is an oxidation process. How I can justify it right now? Okay. So you get molten pig iron, which is the impure form of iron. What are impurities? Impurities are carbon. Impurities will be your silicon. Impurities will be maybe manganese. And okay, these are major impurities. Sulfur will be also there. I am not considering sulfur right now. Otherwise you will get confused. Carbon, silicon, manganese, sulfur, and phosphorus also. So these are the impurities in your molten pig iron, and you need to remove them during steel making process. So this is a reactor where you can do it. So you charge your molten pig iron impurities now, but you want to remove the impurities. So how impurities can be removed? By supplying oxygen. That's why steel making is the oxidation process. Oxidation means addition of oxygen, right? Reduction means removal of oxygen. In a simple term I am saying, because Fe2O3 become Fe. Fe2O3 means oxygen was there earlier, it is getting removed, so that's why it is a reduction process, right? And oxidation process means I am intentionally adding oxygen into the process. So can you tell me, if I will add oxygen here, what will happen? Majority is what? Majority is your iron. Steel means majority is iron, but these are impurities. So what will happen if I will add oxygen? Yes. So oxygen will preferentially react with carbon to form carbon dioxide, carbon monoxide actually. Carbon monoxide. And carbon monoxide is a gas phase, it will remove. So I can easily remove the carbon by adding oxygen simply, right? By forming CO, carbon monoxide. Okay? So carbon will be removed in form of CO. Fine. Very good. But what happened to silicon and manganese and phosphorus?
Silicon.
They also form oxides. If you remember the Ellingham diagram, right? If you remember the Ellingham diagram, can you tell me the position of SiO2 line and position of MnO2 line and P2O5 line? Can you check right now? Silicon is at the bottom, SiO2 line. If you check the Ellingham diagram for oxides, SiO2 line is at the bottom. Then above that, Mn. Then phosphorus. Then your iron oxide, iron, Fe2O3. Is it okay? So can you tell me then, if you apply oxygen, what will happen? Silicon become SiO2 by reacting with oxygen, fine. Mn become MnO2 or fine. And phosphorus become P2O5. And these are what? These are solids. These are solids. Now how to remove a solid? Gases there is no issue. CO forms and remove. Carbon is removing in form of carbon monoxide. But what happened to these solids? Yeah, you are saying something. Yeah, right. You need to add flux. You need to add flux into the process again. And that flux is nothing but your line. Again, line. We have to feed add the material flux, and that is line. So line will come and react with all these things, and finally it will form what? Slag. So that will go into the slag phase. And in simple word I can say, this silica MnO2 P2O5 compounds will join the slag phase. Because you have to remember, whenever you are doing any kind of reduction process or oxidation process and substance are in molten state, two things will form. One is a metal and the one will be a slag, always. Both are will be in the molten state. But how you can remove the slag and metal? Because they always form two layers. So this will be your slag, this will be your metal. So that means this will be your steel, which you want, and this will be your slag. So all these things will be here. CaO, SiO2, MnO2, all will be here, and this will be your pure form of iron now, steel, right? So that means what is the significance of calcination? That means anyhow you have to do calcination of calcium carbonate, then only you can get lime. Then this lime can be used in the process, steel making process, to remove the impurities. Fine. These are the two significance. Okay, if this question will come in exam, you can write it. What is the significance of calcination? So that's why calcination is a preliminary treatment of the concentrate or ore. Anyhow, you have to do it so that you can make it to lime first, and that lime can be used as a flux in both iron and steel making process. Yeah. Okay, done. We are done with the class. So if you have any question, you can ask me, otherwise you can leave.